name is TL Dominic. I come from St. Anthony's Church Parish, Arakuti. I took my first covenant on March 14, 2021. I came to Kreupasanam with many worries. We had been married for 12 years without children. We tried every kind of treatment: allopathy, Ayurveda, homeopathy, and even acupuncture. Finally, we grew tired and discouraged. The doctor said that there was no problem with either of us, yet still, we had no children. At that time, we surrendered to God's will. We decided to come to Kreupasanam and take the covenant. After taking the covenant, many changes began to happen in our lives. We started doing family prayers regularly. We faithfully used all the covenant articles, recited the rosary daily, and read the Bible without fail. Still, we waited patiently. Every month we went for checkups with hope. Even though nothing changed, we never lost faith in the Kreupasanam. From time to time, we came back to Kreupasanam to renew our covenant. We prayed the covenant prayers, followed all the terms, and moved forward in faith. In December 2023, I came again and renewed my covenant. I prayed, "Mother, please ask Jesus to bless me with at least one child." Then I looked at Mother's face, smiled, and said, "Let it be according to the will of Jesus and Mother, not my own." Deep in my heart, I believed that if we prayed here, everything would be fulfilled. I also engaged in works of charity. Then, miraculously, in the 7th month, I received the news that I was pregnant. My husband and I would place our hands on my stomach and pray every day. After 3 months, however, I began spotting, which later turned into bleeding. Humanly, I became worried, but we continued to pray with faith, believing that this was the child Mother had given us and that Jesus and Mother would protect us. At Amrita Hospital, the doctors could not understand why the bleeding was happening. They said, "There is nothing wrong with the baby. It is your faith that has saved you." Throughout that time, I constantly used the covenant oil and salt. I applied the covenant oil on my abdomen 10 to 15 times a day while reciting the creed, and also used the covenant salt. By God's grace, the bleeding stopped. Finally, on December 17th, 2024, Jesus and the Holy Mother blessed us with a beautiful baby girl. Secondly, I testify about my KTED exam. I had failed the exam 3 times. Then I realized that on my own strength, I could do nothing. I surrendered to Jesus and decided to rely completely on His will. In 2021, I attempted again. When I received the question paper, it was far more difficult than the ones I had already failed. I prayed, "Mother, I cannot pass this by myself. You must perform a miracle." Holding the covenant medal in my hand, I recited the creed and answered the questions as best as I could. Later, when I checked my answers at home, I had only scored 72 marks, but 82 were required to pass. Feeling disappointed, I called to Kreupasanam for intercession. The sister who answered told me to prepare to testify, assuring me that Mother and Jesus would give me the marks I needed. Amazingly, when the final result came, I had received 86 marks. Truly, Mother and Jesus performed a miracle. Thirdly, I testify for my mother's healing. She was suffering from terrible pain due to fissures and was undergoing treatment at Amrita Hospital. At the same time, I was pregnant and under complete bed rest, with no one else at home to care for me. My mother was deeply worried, yet she continued to pray faithfully with the covenant articles. When she consulted the doctor again, he said that the condition was not serious, could be cured with medicine, and surgery was not required. In time, through prayer and the use of the covenant articles, my mother was completely healed. Now, there are no medicines. I am forever grateful to Jesus and the Holy Mother for these great blessings. As part of my missionary commitment, I continue to buy the Kreupasanam newsletter every month without fail. During my pregnancy, when I could not go myself, my husband or friends would bring me the newsletters. Even while on bed rest, I made every effort to distribute the Kreupasanam newsletters wherever possible. I visited government hospitals, prayed at the bedsides of patients, and helped them in whatever way I could. I gave money to the poor without counting, prepared food and gave them to those in need. I also visited old age homes where I cared for and even bathed the mothers. I thank Jesus and the Holy Mother for showering so many blessings upon me.
Isaiah 49:13 says, "He will have mercy on his people who are suffering. He has comforted his people." This is the pain that Tajil and her husband carried for 12 long years. There was no hospital. They did not visit in their longing for a child. Every hospital said they had no problems having children. Even then they were praying and wishing for a child. Finally, when they came here, through the Holy Mother and the covenant, the Lord blessed them with the gift of a child. From this testimony, we also see how the Lord's hand was at work when this sister passed the KETAC exam after repeated failures, and when her mother was healed of her illness. Truly, it was the Lord who intervened in their lives. In the same way, the Lord will intervene in our lives when we are troubled and weighed down. When we enter into covenant and acknowledge that we are His people and that He is our God, He will step into our situations, wipe away our grief, and resolve the struggles of our lives. Let us glorify God for the blessings given through the Holy Mother. Thank you, Jesus. Praise you, Jesus. Worship you, Jesus.
Extraordinary experiences of God can now be yours. If you haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel yet, subscribe now, share this video with your friends, and become a true disciple of the Lord.